Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to return to Rio Brothers, the brother band from the Philippines that has done excellent covers of such groups as the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, Dire Straits, and the Eagles. And that's just the stuff that we've looked at. Today we're going to include the Alan Parsons Project in that list, and we're going to watch them do Sirius and Eye in the Sky. These were the opening tracks on the Alan Parsons record, Eye in the Sky. Sirius actually shows up in a lot of, NFL broadcasts or different sporting event broadcasts. Probably not just the NFL. It could have been the Olympics, anything like that. It's one of those tracks where you will probably recognize it, even if you didn't know the name of it. Adrian, any thoughts ahead before we look at this?
Well, I listened to the original version by the Alan Parsons Project to remember what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I looked at the lyrics and then looked at the various song meanings according to fans and such, and saw themes mentioned including gambling, leaving a narcissistic relationship perhaps, or Orwell's 1984.
Yeah, well, there's the whole thing of Eye in the Sky watching you. It reminded me a little bit thematically of every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. The Police song. These songs that sound like one thing, and then you realize, it's kind of making me paranoid here. It's going on, looking at me all the time. Eye in the Sky, what? But
Eye in the Sky is supposedly, I guess, an overhead camera in casinos, surveillance camera like in 1984, or a controlling person in a relationship.
Probably the controlling person in the relationship is best suited to this.
That's just a guess. That's speculation.
I have the record. I bought it in 1982, and I still have it, and I still play it once in a while. It's probably their best record. So, All right. Well, why don't we take a look at this, and we will discuss afterwards.
All righty.
heard the accusations before, and I ain't gonna take anymore. Believe me, the sun in your eyes was some of the lies worth believing. I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. I am the maker of rules, dealing with fools. I can cheat you blind, and I don't need to see anymore to know that I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Don't leave false illusions behind. Don't cry, I ain't changing my mind. So find another fool like before, 'cause I ain't gonna live anymore, believing some of the lies, while all of these lies are deceiving. I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. I am the maker of rules, dealing with fools. I can cheat you blind, and I don't need to see anymore to know that I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. I am the maker of rules, dealing with fools. I can teach you blind, and I don't need to see anymore to know that I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Looking at you, I can read your mind.
Nice. That ending, by the way, was done by the band. I mean, they arranged that because it fades out.
Yeah, I noticed that. They ended it in a good way.
Yeah, well done.
Anyway, Rio Brothers once again pull off a fantastic cover. This is just what they do.
Yeah, they got the harmonies spot on. They really sounded nice. I love the way that they follow the arrangement that was there. Alan Parsons, for those who don't know, also worked on Let It Be, the Beatles, when he was a very young guy, and was the engineer for Dark Side of the Moon. So he was around to see things like, effective harmonies, vocal harmonies, and also just creating a soundscape. That was the real joy of listening to those Alan Parsons Project records that came out. By the way, I went and I got it, so there's your eye in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. That's gold ink on green here. And so you see there's a little bit of wear now, because for the first 40 years I owned this, I didn't have it in a sleeve. That's how it was. You never put your records in sleeves back then. It seemed preposterous. But
that front picture almost looks like an Egyptian type theme to it or something.
yeah, I think that was the idea. And they've got a lot of them. If you take a look, see all those little Egyptian, what do you call them? I'm not sure.
Hieroglyphs?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they are. And so, yeah, I highly recommend this album. By the way, rest in peace to Eric Wolfson, who was the singer on that. I think he also sang their hit Time, and we have seen a version of that, but it was a different singer. It was basically Alan Parsons and Eric Wolfson that were behind the Alan Parsons Project, so I thought it was worth mentioning that. But, yeah, they did an excellent tribute there, I thought. I really enjoyed it. And you don't hear a lot of people trying Sirius.
I thought Sirius was cool. I can recall at least 3 different sounds coming from that keyboard. It sounded like a synth, a Wurlitzer, and a piano.
Yep.
And occasionally 2 of them were playing it, too.
Yeah, that's one thing.
The keyboardists were both playing at one point.
Yeah, that's right. There was a second guy. I'm sorry, I still don't have their names totally locked down because we don't view them enough and they don't list them in the videos. But yeah, the guy on the lower part of the keyboard was also playing the guitar. Big little chung 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 chung. While their regular lead singers do 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 do. While he's singing, he's doing that neat little do 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 do. I think it was something like that. Just nice little details that you like to have in there and then really make the song. This is one of those songs where you really have to have the details, I think, in order to make the song believable to the listener's ear. And they had all of it. They had everything they needed in there. It sounded nice. Even the drum, even the snare drum was set up properly, to sound like what they had on the original studio version. We've heard that drum sound different based on the covers they're doing, so...
Yeah, I kind of wondered when the video was showing, I was looking at the drum set trying to find mics, and I didn't see any that were around there, which kind of tells me this must be an electronic drum set, so they can get a perfect sound out of that after the fact.
Yeah, I didn't actually look into that, but that is a very distinct possibility. At this point, they had been a very successful band. As you saw, this got 2 million views. Now, even if it's a cover song, you can usually get a little bit of revenue out of that, and they're also playing shows, so certainly, he had every right to go out and buy an electric kit. They tend to be a bit more expensive. I think they're around, today, I think they're around $5,000 to get a kit, but that was actually a pretty small kit, too, that he was using. There weren't a lot of drums on that one. That's the other thing is he seems to remove drums as needed.
And I also thought the vocal layering was ingenious and exquisite.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job with the vocals and making it all work. Yeah, it's a lot of extra work, making sure the vocals sound right. The vocalists have to work on their own for that, without the instruments for a moment. Overall, spectacular. Really well done, guys. All right, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this and what you thought, comparing it to the original. Do you know the original song? Were you around when it came out? I actually remember when it became a hit on the charts and everything. I think that's why I got excited to buy the album and get into the band. But give your thoughts. Let us know if you've seen the Alan Parsons Project or Rio Brothers in concert. And any other thoughts you have for us or suggestions, leave those below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
See you all later.